Andy, 4-0. Must be delighted with that.
Yeah, really delighted with it. It's I think the performance was fantastic. I think Luton set up in a low block. It looked like it was a back five to start with, so we had to try and break them down. And to be honest, that plays into our hands in regards to what we were looking for and how we wanted to go after the game. So yeah, we were really happy with the way we performed. And yeah, second half of it, we stepped on and dealt with the conditions as well, because the ball was skidding off. And as you know, when we're working in 3G, we're not used to playing on the grass, and we're used to playing with a surface like this. And yeah, I thought we dealt with it brilliantly. And yeah, probably could have had a few more if we've been critical.
This is the first time you've made changes in the league to your team. Is this a reaction to the Fulham game? You weren't happy after that?
No, I think it's one where we just looked at what we wanted to try and achieve within the game and the way that we wanted to work. And yeah, we made changes with the Bedford game, with it in the cup game, and we wanted to make sure that players were there, and there was an opportunity for several people. Whereas today the changes were more in line with what we wanted tactically. So Eloise Hall's more of a central forward, so her and Tash could occupy basically three of the back four or the back five in that on that right hand side. Millie would have the space, and basically Holly would then have the space on the left. So it was kind of to look at like a 4-2-4 or a 3-5-2 in some way. So it was more of a tactical decision really around things, and yeah, we just wanted to make sure we were in the best place possible. So it's worked. We obviously got the 3 points. I thought we played well, and there's some fantastic individual performances within that as well.
Evie at left back, I thought was brilliant today. She played really well. Obviously, she's not used to playing midfield until this season. She can play across anywhere, really, can't she?
Yeah, well, you see with a passing range and her ability, I think she needs to work on, a defensive work in regards to when she steps in, when she presses, when she holds. But, I think, and that's mainly due to how I want the team to play more than anything. But she's fantastic in possession. We said, she can find feet, she can find the top line when she needs to, she can go wide, she can clip it, and she can recycle the ball well. And that's why I've played her in midfield so far. But moving her back into that position, it allows us to look like a back three as well, which again, that's the tactical side of it. When we had Kingy in front of her and Hope and Riggs, it allows us to build from that point. And yeah, it worked well today.
What have you been pleased with from the start of the season so far? We're a few games in. What's most pleased you?
To be honest, I think looking at today, the reaction in regards to where we were over the last couple of weeks, obviously the performance that we had at Fulham wasn't where we needed and where we wanted. But the first couple of games were great as well. So I think the reaction after pre-season to where we were was great. The reaction now has been good, and we need to make sure that we're in the best place possible next week, because next week's going to be a very tough game. London being a strong side, they were strong last season, and yeah, no doubt it'll be a tough one this week as again.
How important was it to get back to winning ways? Because we know how quickly this league can run away from you. If it was a point or a loss today, that could be looking pretty dire, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it's important. That's why the league is such a tough league. When it's only a 12-team league, there's a bit more jeopardy now with obviously the playoff place. But you have to keep momentum. And although we had a tough game against Bedford and not the performance we wanted against Fulham, you look at some of the results. I've just checked my phone there and checked a few of the results, and they're all close. Fulham was 1-0. I think Cambridge scored in 90 plus whatever it was. So a lot of teams are going to be in those moments where it's you have to make sure you're consistent. And yeah, we were good today. We were good value for it, every single player. And like I say, the other side of it as well is the whole squad. Like Drew Wilson and Poppy didn't make the team today, but let me tell you, they trained excellently in the week, and they allowed us to play like they did today because of their efforts in the week.
Ellie Smith making your starting lineup again. I think she showed why she's missed sometimes, especially when she got the free kick for Evie's goal.
Exactly, and again, that's something that we wanted to have in, to add in, and to really work like we can, and that was something that was probably has been missing when Smithy isn't playing. But that's where I think I've said all along, I want the individual players to play within their own way, but I want them in the structure of the team, and that's why we're a little bit more aggressive today. Smithy's key to that, and to be honest, she's enjoyed herself recently. She's had a little bit of a break. She's been on a holiday, and I think I just seen her in the changing room there just as I was coming out, and I said, I think you need to go and see Oasis a few more times. So she went a few weeks back, and we were chatting, saying hopefully they'll announce Nebworth. So yeah, we might go as a team if we can.
All right, can I come?
Absolutely, best band in the world, isn't it?
And let's look at Bees. You said it's going to be a tough game. They've started all right. It was a tough game away there last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They came back into it, and obviously the managed to, was it 3 Rami,
3-3,
3-3.
Yeah, it was over two. Shannon hat-trick.
Yeah, Shannon
was it?
hat-trick, yeah. So, yeah, it was a tough little game. I almost said 4-3 there, but yeah, we didn't lose it, we drew it. and then when they came to the nest, obviously it was 2-1. So, yeah, we've got to make sure that we're really at the races, that we're strong in the tackle, first, second contact, all the things that, you've seen today. And yeah, we need to make sure tactically we're disciplined with what we go after. But yeah, we're in tomorrow. We'll be reviewing tonight, this afternoon, and making sure that we're ready for next week as well. But it's important now after a win that I think, to be honest, we kick on even more, because yeah, after the losses, it's always easy to go, I want to come in, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to see that same attitude now again after a 4-0 win, because we'll only make sure that we're stronger and better after that. And
we've already confirmed one more game here at Carrow Road. How many more would you like to see here?
I said it to your colleague in the week in the press conference we did. I think the real change in not just Norwich City women's, the future of the women's game as a whole would be when every female team can play at the men's stadium, because I think you just got to look at the pitch. It looks immaculate now, and we've just walked off it. And I think that's the thing. There's research been done in regards to the pitch and the quality of it after a female team has played on it. It doesn't cut up like maybe a boys' 18s or 21s, or obviously the men's first team do. But the quality of the pitch is always good. It allows us to play at a good venue. And the thing is, once you do that, it starts to become normalised across the country, not just here. Hopefully we'll get bigger attendances. 3,000's fantastic. Everyone that came out today was brilliant. We could hear them from the dugout over here, and yeah, we want more. We'd love to play in front of 10,000 here. You always ask me, don't you, what number is it? But yeah, double figures is always the one, and if you could get 10, 15, 27, it must be unbelievable to be in here when it's full. So yeah, that's the dream. But then, like I said to your colleague, that's 4, 5, 6 years away, something like that. I've just got to make sure the team wins next week. Cheers.
Andy, a couple from me, but
yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Luton playing in a low block. Are you seeing more of that this year? And it's a mark of respect ultimately, but I guess it causes you sort of different challenges from an attacking perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's one where the longer we go into the league campaign, and hopefully if we can maintain the start we had, I think you'll see it more, because teams will try and use the pace in behind and down the sides and get into those positions. So yeah, tactically it's always tough, because you have an idea of what might happen and you work on different bits in the week. But yeah, we didn't, honestly, throughout the week, we didn't expect them to start with a back five. So I've set the team up all week that they might play against a 4. The pre-match we spoke about it, and on the board we had it as a back 4 that we'd be against, and then it's a 5. So the players have to adapt in the minute, and yeah, you do all this work in the week, and then yeah, the start is a 5, and we've got to try and adapt. But the players that's why I work the way I like to work in regards to how we try and develop things. So the players were good at that, and they got into the game, and obviously, yeah, 2-0 at half-time was great.
You sort of touched upon it there, but it's a unique league in many ways, where a loss or a draw can feel so big and so seismic. So how much of it is about trying to keep the pressure off the players, and also when they have a setback like that, trying to keep things relatively stable? Like you say, it's about wanting to respond to that, but probably not wanting to overdo it in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency is key, and yeah, as you say, the setbacks can I'm going to use that word more in my vocabulary, like that, seismic. So they can feel seismic, but it's how you either respond to the likes of little media bits or little things that you see, or obviously the things that we all have to contend with is things in our own lives of parents and siblings and family and partners and everything else that has opinions on things. So it depends on how we react to that. But I think it's one where, for me, it's very much just can we make sure we're working well in the week, and if we're doing that, we control that, and that's the key bit. We need to control what we can, which is the training, the work rate, everything that we do in the week to make sure we're in the best position possible on Sunday.
Holly Kennard, I think, is a player that really excites. Quite old-fashioned, isn't she, as a winger in terms of how she plays? It must be a really exciting sort of player to have in that attacking lineup.
Yeah,
that you've got.
It is, and I think it's something where I've said to her a few times, like she'll try and link and pass and all those little bits, which are great. But I've said to her several times, Holly, I just want you to dribble. When you get the ball, just dribble. Go on the outside, go on the inside. You make that decision, but can you dribble into good areas to then get the ball into the box? Can you get the crosses in? And look, she frustrates some players because of she might go for a shot instead of a cross, but look, if it goes in the back of the net, we're all loving life. So it's one where when you have a winger like that and a player like that, you've got to let them express themselves. And it's the same for the whole of the front line, to be honest. When Smithy plays, she has the same outcome. Freya as well, different player, but the same thing. And yeah, and Tash as well, and the other everyone, Cookie, Halsey, Lara, Eloise Hall, everyone. So no, it's good.
And finally, I mean, you mentioned the kind of Carrow Road factor. Do you see a rise in them in terms of their levels in training and sort of the anticipation of playing? So have they kind of got to a level now where they are becoming a little bit more accustomed to playing here, which ultimately is the aim?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more accustomed to it. It seems a little bit more natural. I think the disappointment is greater, probably seismic, to use your word, when either I pick them or I don't pick them, which is understandable. I'd be exactly the same, but it's one where, you know, they've worked so hard in the week that, you know, that can't go unnoticed on a Sunday, and that's the case this week. The girls have been brilliant all week, and that's the performance you get when it comes off like that.